Just a second more. Okay, you are live.
Okay. I want to call the Affordable Housing and Community Equity Development Commission meeting to order this evening. First I'll call the roll. Alicia Harrick Blaine,
Here.
Patrick Sheridan,
Here.
Carrie Bond,
Here.
Rich Halverson,
Here.
and Karen said she will be late. And I think that does it for us. Okay. All right. So this evening we have a little bit of a different meeting. We're going to have all of our CDBG grant applicants present their proposals to us, so that we can learn about the proposals, ask questions, and it's kind of if you haven't done this before, if you haven't seen this before, it's a very interesting evening. Some of them are the same applicants we've had for a number of years. There are a few new ones, so I'm looking forward to it. I have a list that Teresa sent out to all of the applicants with a time frame that I now have to find. Each applicant will have 5 minutes to present their project to us. There are a number of questions that they'll answer. First, I want to give you a little bit of background about the CDBG program and our allocation for this year. We don't have it yet, but we expect to have something similar to what we had last year, $306,000. And that allocation by rule is split up into 3 buckets. 15% of the funds will go to public services, and that's what many of our applicants will be presenting to us tonight. That's $46,000. 65% will go to capital projects. That's $200,000. And 20% will go to admin. That will help pay for the continuing administration of the program. We've got, as I said, 5 minute time limit for presentations, and I do have this list of projects that an applicants. I'm assuming that Teresa, you've confirmed that all of these folks are going to be here, right? Or shall I just call them down in a list and see if they're going to be here? All right. So first on the list is the Housing Authority. Is anyone here from the Housing Authority present?
Yeah, Marco let him in.
Okay. There's Melissa. Okay, good. So Melissa, could you describe your application for CDBG funds to us?
Yes, and I also have with me Asim Nagam, who should also be allowed in as a panelist.
Good evening, everyone.
Yes, our application centers around assisting with capital projects for the Harbor House community, and I will allow Asim, our development director, to go into the details.
Sure, thank you, Melissa, and good evening, everyone, again, and thank you for inviting us to speak before you. I'm representing, along with Melissa, Housing Authority of Annapolis, and our mission is to provide safe and attainable housing for singles, families, elderly, and people with disabilities. What we are requesting in our application is $100,000 in CDBG funds for 2 projects, Eastport and Harbor House. And we said 2, but in HUD perspective, this is 1 project per se. And these 2 projects, include 357 some units altogether. At this point, Housing Authority owns 554 units. So these 2 projects basically account for more than half of the public housing units that we have in the portfolio. These are dated properties. The properties were built in 1953 through 1964. So there is a continuing need. So it's $100,000 is not the be all and the end all. We do understand, and the Housing Authority will continue to look for other financing sources, whether it's from the city, state, or federal sources, to maintain the public housing, which we are obligated to do under HUD regulations, and keep people housed. We house folks who have no other option to get housed. These are the folks who are very low income and they have their own extraordinary needs, which we fulfill, whether it's through providing them through services or providing a roof over their head as such. And, among these 357 some families, there are some folks who are elderly, people with, disabilities, at risk, or youth. So we serve variety of folks within this project per se. And the uses that we have said in our application, they range from HVAC replacement to plumbing, electrical, roof replacement, addressing drainage issue. All of those are CDBG eligible activities. I used to administer CDBG funds for Montgomery County and Fairfax County in my prior life, so I'm fully aware of what those eligible uses are. Now, you may have also read in the newspaper, these two properties are slated for redevelopment. That is true. And our transformation plan has been approved by HUD just about a month ago, which is a good news. But at the same time, by the time we issue the RFP or RFQ, select the developer, and we are able to put the financing together, this is a multiple year project. That being said, in the meantime, we do have an obligation to maintain these units. And then, as you know, the city of Annapolis has to give us a rental license each year. So we have to maintain these units according to the city code. If they find any deficiency, then we have to correct them so that we can house people. So while we have a long-term plan for these two properties, but these $100,000 will go a long way towards rehab of these units wherever is needed. As an example, just a couple of months ago, one of the boilers in the Harbor House, went out. We have to spend $30,000 to replace the boiler. We cannot say, yes, we can redevelop the property, because in today's terms, we have to house people. And we need to provide decent and safe housing to our residents. So with that, I would really, request the committee to consider our request for $100,000, which will go a long way towards rehabbing of these units. So thank you very much. I'll be happy to then answer any questions.
So this is a temporary, this is money to carry you over between the time that you actually get this major rehab. It's the Choice Neighborhoods grant, right?
Correct.
Between the time that you get Choice Neighborhoods project going and now. That's what these funds are for.
Correct.
Okay, all right.
That would be probably about 5 years or so before we actually see brand new units.
Okay, all right. Any other questions? And then on top of that, you still will have in this period, you'll still have your normal funds available for any renovations and repairs that are required.
Correct.
Right? As we all know, that's never enough. So that would explain the additional 100,000.
Mm-hmm. For example, we've had to spend funds, pardon my not being in a normal setting. I'm currently at the Eastport Community Center. We're having a community meeting, but the heat in the gym has been out for over 1.5 years. Yes, a couple of days ago, it was finally turned back on because we had to have new gas lines to the building, and for the community. So it's things like that will be occurring, which are significant expenses to our normal operating expenses that still need to be addressed in the meantime, because we still need heat in our buildings, for our residents. And so it's those types of capital projects that need assistance until we can get to the point where we are fully redeveloped.
Okay.
And
Any other
Melissa,
questions?
Sam, do you all have any idea, just from a projection standpoint? I mean, it's sounding like 5 years until the CNI redevelopment is all done. This is to help, do, like we're saying, that rehab that's needed just in the meantime. You need near
Well,
normal operating funds. Hopefully this money, how much else do you anticipate?
for capital improvements in the meantime,
Yeah.
we will be requesting every year for assistance until we can get to redevelopment. Just as a backdrop, we normally have access to capital funds from HUD for public housing units, but every time we redevelop a property, the capital funds are reduced. So what is normally, let's say, a $2 million budget for our capital funds that come from HUD, we just closed last year on Morris H. Blum. We will be the portion that's allocated for that, for example, will be reduced. So we're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars every year that we're losing from the capital fund program because we are redeveloping, because they're no longer capital public housing projects. And
The
so
ACC.
the
Okay.
capital fund budget for public housing is no longer accessible to us. So the positive thing of redevelopment is that we enter into, tax credit housing, project-based housing, which is great for the needs of the current residents, but it reduces the overall pot of capital funds that we have access to manage all of our properties. And capital funds are fungible between capital funds. So if one project may not need so much, we could always transfer it to another project. But we lost capital funds for Wilbourn Estates, Annapolis Gardens, Obery Courts, Morris H. Blum, because we are converting our portfolio from the capital fund program. So just to give you an understanding of why we have to have other sources of funds supplement what we are losing in our normal capital fund budget for the public housing program.
That's helpful. Thanks.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you so much.
Thank
It helps
you.
us understand what's going on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next up, Partners in Care.
Can you hear me,
Dawn?
ladies and gentlemen?
Now we can.
Okay, great. My camera doesn't seem to be on. I'll just proceed without the camera in an
Okay.
effort of not holding up time. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dawn Everhart, and I'm sitting with Sharon Zencraft. I'm speaking on behalf of Partners in Care Incorporated. We're a small local nonprofit serving 6 counties in Maryland. Those counties are Anne Arundel, Frederick, Washington, Montgomery, as well as Talbot and Caroline counties on the Eastern Shore. We've just celebrated our 30 years in the capacity of serving older adults and who are in need of assistance. Partners in Care was founded on a mission to assist older adults with the most crucial of services to allow them to age safely in their homes. Those crucial services include transportation, repairs with care, which is our handyman service, and assistance with navigating unfamiliar territory. For instance, we have many members who have lost their spouse who handled the banking and finance, and or husbands that have lost their wives and need to learn how to cook nutritious meals for themselves. Our staff and volunteers come alongside those members to work with them to build the skills that they need to remain independent. We are the trusted partner in the community, helping older adults navigate through those most difficult times in life. Our members are not alone. We are one of the oldest time banking models in the nation. And what I mean by that is we are actively recruiting older adults to assist in our organization by way of giving their time and talents in our offices, providing rides to doctor's appointments and grocery shopping for our members, that can no longer drive safely, or they just can't navigate through life without some assistance. Our skilled volunteers that provide our services through Repairs with Care program are also one of the necessary functions that keep our older adults in place in their homes that they cherish. We've developed a way to keep older adults engaged in our operations while they bank time for when they might need services and assistance in the future. And we found that keeping older adults engaged, and they experience less loneliness and feelings of isolation, less sickness and hospitalization, and they lead a more gratifying life because they're helping others, and they're just happy to be around others and serving alongside of them. Neighbors helping neighbors is our tagline, and it truly describes what we do every single day. As a small local nonprofit, each of our paid staff wear many hats. We run our operation in 6 counties with just a staff of 15 full-time and 2 part-time team members. Our ask today is for assistance in covering a portion of the salary for our Director of Member Care, who works tirelessly to match members' requests with skilled volunteers who can provide labor and complete the handyman requests as they come in. Sharon is a retired social worker and has the heart for helping older adults who prefer to stay in their homes. On many occasions, she will reach out to local businesses and find help for some of our most disadvantaged members who cannot even afford to contribute to the cost of supplies for the needed repairs that they need to keep them safe in their homes. Many times, she's paid for safety equipment out of her own pocket. In addition to her coordination in the Repairs with Cares program, she also provides members with social learning opportunities that help keep them safe and informed, along with a whole gamut of other duties. She can make a small amount of money go a long way. Our desired use of the funds is to provide assistance for 20 plus members who live in the city of Annapolis and who are unable to complete the necessary maintenance to keep their homes safe, warm, and dry. As the cost of everything, including food, prescriptions, is ever increasing, our members have placed their safety last on their list of priorities. We stand ready to help those in Annapolis. We have currently 215 members who live in the city of Annapolis, in which we have identified 44 that really crucially need our services with help to maintain safety in their homes. And we're ready to serve. We did receive a grant last year from ACDS for a little over $5,500 for assistance with our Repairs with Care program. And at that, I'm ready to take any questions that you might have.
Teresa.
Good evening. Nice to meet you. I was a little confused about exactly what you were going to use the CDBG money for, because like Elijah, you would know what they got funded. Did they get funded under capital projects or public services? Do you know?
Public service.
You've kind of described 3 different eligible activities in your description of what you would have the person do. And in our program, the money that you would spend on actually doing the repairs would come out of capital projects, which is and then the money that you talk about paying the staff that would do those capital repairs and manage it comes out of another eligible activity. Excuse me. And then your description of providing services comes under another eligible activity. So so when I read your application, I put you in the capital group because my assumption is that you were going to use the money for basically a rehab program. But now I'm not so sure I did that right. So anyway.
So we don't do any very extensive projects. We do the small honey-do list type of projects, the handyman projects that would allow for people to remain safe in their homes. We don't want 88-year-old women on a ladder to change a light bulb or their batteries in their smoke detectors. We much prefer to do that for them with a volunteer.
Okay, I understand that. The part, and maybe Elijah can help me out. When you guys funded them last year, what did you fund them under?
He said public services.
I believe public service. I'm trying to double
Oh.
check that right now.
Okay, all righty. Okay, because what you're describing is similar to Rebuilding Together.
Right.
And they do really small things too, and so my tendency would be to put you still in capital projects. And my tendency also would be to take whoever's managing that part of it and put that in capital projects. And separate out the public services, which would be more of the not home repair stuff.
Yeah, the working with the residents who've lost a partner
Yeah,
and get,
yeah,
that
yeah.
sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just
We
one of
can't
the
mix them together.
Right. So we have decided to dedicate one full-time and one part-time person strictly on this project for Annapolis City.
But how much money are you asking for to actually do the repairs?
So we're asking for $10,000 to service 20 participants, and that's at $500 each.
And my
And that-
question is, yeah, and that's to buy the things that you're going to use to fix their house.
Along with supporting salary, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay.
Alrighty. That helps.
So
That-
their
that
request,
helps.
their request with ACDS this year was categorized as a public service request. I would literally just need to run upstairs and grab my laptop in order to then look in and see how we categorized it last year to ensure
That's
that I
okay.
was correct.
We can talk about that when we
Yep,
get to the part of evaluating. So,
absolutely.
okay, thanks. All right, now
Thank
I understand.
Any other questions? Okay, well, thank you very much.
And I
Thank you
just
very much.
wanted to
We
let
appreciate
folks
the
know
opportunity.
that you're welcome to stay and listen to the rest of the folks, or you're welcome to jump
Thank
out.
you.
It's up
Thank
to
you so much.
All righty. Nice meeting you.
Okay, next up, charting careers.
Hello, everyone. My name is Erin Snell, and I'm the Executive Director of Charting Careers. I appreciate you hearing our story tonight and considering our application. We applied for $15,000 to support our family partnership coordinator. But first, I want to tell you a little bit about Charting Careers. So we are a nonprofit organization with the mission to inspire youth to discover their power and reach their goals. And we do that through transformative mentoring, life enriching opportunities, and through family partnership. We primarily serve families living in public and subsidized housing in Annapolis. And why we exist is we know that young people, no matter what zip code they're born in, have the potential, have tremendous potential and deserve tremendous opportunities in life. So our goals are to support families living in public and subsidized housing, to identify needs and barriers, to support those students and families with setting and achieving goals related to their physical health, mental health, extracurricular involvement, and educational access, to increase family self-sufficiency and availability, accessibility of services, and to increase high school graduation rates and post-high school education enrollment. Our model is different from many models because we serve the same students and families from second grade through elementary, middle, high school to and through college. And not only do we have that long-term educational piece of college and career readiness, but we also provide wraparound supports to families. So we are requesting funding for our family partnership coordinator who does direct support with families in Annapolis, but also supervises other staff who are providing direct support. We follow a model that is evidence-based, and this idea that you're supporting an individual that's part of relationships, family relationships, mentoring relationships, that's also part of the community. And so while the requested funds don't support our mentoring per se, we provide this long-term mentoring, this long-term educational piece, and then this long-term family support. And really about our goals are about helping each individual young person reach their full potential. And we can't do that without supporting the family unit. So our family partnership coordinator helps families access food. We have a current student who's the first in her family to go to college who's at UMBC. and she almost didn't go because her family was experiencing homelessness. And our family partnership coordinator was able to help while they were experiencing homelessness, get into hotels. We paid for hotels, we paid for basic needs like food, and also then she helped them get into subsidized housing back again here in Annapolis. So that student felt like she could go to college and pursue her goals, really helping with that generational poverty as that first person in her family to go to college. We also hire leaders who live in public and subsidized housing who serve as our community impact specialists. And so these leaders are able to have trusting relationships already with families to be able to address and meet specific mental health needs. So our family partnership coordinator, she oversees and supervises those staff who are able to connect the majority of our families with those supports. We serve, it's a lot of students and families, which is pretty exciting that we're able to have this outreach, but over 210 individuals. Most of those are individual students and then many of their caregivers. In terms of our readiness to support, we have a very qualified team. So our family partnership coordinator is a social worker, and then she is supervising individuals who have that boots on the ground knowledge and who've been receiving ongoing training. We also have been experiencing a lot of success with our programming. So far, 100% of our high school students have graduated from high school and have started college in some capacity. Each of our young scholars from second grade through our 15 college students are also working on individual goals. And so each quarter we ask students, along with their mentor and with our staff, to set a goal, and then they work on achieving it. And that goal might be, this quarter I'm going to improve my math grade, or this quarter I'm going to try a new sport, but really helping them think long-term about their lives. In terms of other funding supports, so we're requesting $15,000. This part-time position is a $20,000 position. And so other funding, we will supplement with other grants for that funding. I'm happy to take any questions.
Any questions?
I just have a comment. As you know, there's only like $40-some thousand available for public service projects. And there's 10 requesters. All the folks that have been around for a long time are used to the fact that they typically do not get what they've requested. Because what you've requested is over 30% of what we have. So my question would be, or something to think about, you don't have to answer this. Would you be able to do this if you could not get the total amount of money? You don't have to answer that right now. Something to think about.
I'm happy to answer it though. We are committed to fulfilling this service. So any amount would help us. And you know how it is running a nonprofit. You work until you can do what you promised to families and to children. And so we will, any amount would help us fulfill our mission. And
I just thought I'd let you know because you're new and everybody else is kind of new.
I appreciate it. It's a new process. So thank you very much.
Yeah,
I
I would
just had a
ask,
question. Go ahead.
which HACA properties are you operating in?
So we have families in Eastport Terraces and Harbor House. We also, we have students that live in the Robinwood community, and then we have families in the other subsidized communities as well.
And is there anybody providing these services in any small way right now, or this is somebody you'd hire completely?
Correct. It is a program that we have already started, and so it would enable us to continue that service that we're currently providing.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions? I'm curious, how did you find out about the CDBG funding from the city since you're new?
Yeah, so one of our, as I mentioned, we hire leaders who live in the neighborhood. So one of our community impact specialists, Veronica Grant, lives in the Greater Clay Street community. And she shared with me that this grant opportunity was there. And so it was my first learning about it. And so we applied.
And you're also going,
Curious.
you're going to apply for the community grants too? Because they extended the
Yes, yeah.
deadline.
So we have been very grateful to receive funds from the city in the past. As the needs have increased in the community, so has our programming. And so we've been looking for additional sources of funding to be able to meet the needs. And we're finding that families are trusting us with our ongoing commitment to communities, that we are finding families are coming, kind of knocking on the door for support. And so now we're trying to find other sources of funding to continue to meet those needs.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. And thank you for coming and sharing your project with us.
My pleasure
yeah.
having you. Luca.
Okay. Next up, Homes for America. Dana. You're on mute.
Okay. I'm getting it together.
There you go.
The end of the day. Well, thank you all so much for giving us an opportunity to talk to you about our request. I'm Dana Johnson. I'm the president of Homes for America. We have been the beneficiaries of CDBG funding from the city of Annapolis in the past, so I will just start by saying thank you very much for your past support. For those of you who may not know us, Homes for America is a nonprofit housing organization headquartered in Annapolis with a mission to build and preserve quality, service-enhanced, sustainable housing that provides opportunities for all residents to enhance their lives with dignity and respect. We serve roughly 7,500 households throughout the Mid-Atlantic region, and we own 3 communities in the city of Annapolis. We are requesting CDBG funding for our Homes at the Glen property, which is a 56-unit townhouse community off of Forest Drive. This property was developed using low-income housing tax credits in 2003 as a lease purchase community, meaning residents have the opportunity to buy their homes when the 15-year tax credit compliance period ended, which was in 2018. To date, we have sold 18 homes. The 18th settled today, so it was a good day at Homes for America, to renters at the property. Each existing resident is provided a soft second loan from Homes for America, so their mortgage amount is set to allow them to keep their monthly outlay the same as their rent. And so even though the property appraises for a higher amount, and we take back a soft second loan that gets reduced over time the longer they stay in the home, which creates significant wealth for these low and moderate income families. This is a major asset building success. However, the property is aging, and the reduction in the number of units as we sell the homes reduces the amount of homes that are part of the rental property and makes it difficult to have the resources needed to address the capital needs of this now 20-year-old property. Specifically, we are seeking $100,000 in grant funds to replace roughly 15 roofs. So the grant will not only benefit those 15 households, of course, but all the families living in the rental apartments by reducing overall maintenance costs of operating the property. This work can begin very soon, and the funds can definitely be deployed this calendar year. In 2023, we were awarded $100,000 for a similar use, and we were able to replace 15 roofs at the property. We have also applied to ACDS for grant funds, and we have been awarded a roughly $650,000 MEHA grant from Maryland DHCD for energy efficiency work to replace HVAC equipment, water heaters, and appliances to replace, obviously, equipment that's reaching the end of its useful life, but also improve energy efficiency at the property. We are also in the process of appealing our real estate taxes that will also help reduce operating expenses of the property. As you know, the preservation of affordable apartments in the city of Annapolis, particularly larger units like these townhomes, most of them are 3-bedroom apartments, is critically important given the current housing crisis. So we would be very beneficial to have the capital dollars to continue to upgrade and maintain the property, so that it can be sustained. What the homes that we don't sell, that those can be sustained as quality rental housing for the city.
Okay, any questions? I only have one. What's the likelihood, or is there a schedule of when you will sell the remaining units?
So
Or-
we have given the residents a deadline of this summer. We extended it. It was supposed to be a 3-year period, but because of COVID and everything else, we extended it. So there are several more folks that are in the process. We've partnered with ACDS to provide the homeownership counseling for residents. And so there are several more people in the queue. So we expect at least maybe 3 or 4 more settlements before the summer. But part of the struggle for us is, it's clear that there are some renters in that community, a significant number of folks that are not really interested in buying. And so we've got to make sure that we have the funds to invest and maintain it as a rental property, which of course gets harder. The lesser units that are there, the less income, and the operating expenses don't really go down by a proportional amount. So.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay,
Thank you very much.
thank you. Okay, next up, Community Action Agency. We're moving right along here.
That's good.
Yeah. Community Action Agencies, anyone there from the Community Action? Yes, I see the symbol. Now we just need the person. There we go. You're on mute.
Good
You're on
evening.
mute. There you go.
All right. Good evening. I'm Julie Snyder, and I am representing the Community Action Agency of Anne Arundel County. And on behalf of our staff and board of directors, I want to thank you for the opportunity to discuss our proposal and to thank you for your continued support, because you have supported us through CDBG for many, many years. The agency is very, very proud that in 1968, we were designated by Anne Arundel County Council to be the anti-poverty agency of all of Anne Arundel County, including the city of Annapolis. We've been serving low-income individuals and households since 1965. And during fiscal year 2023, we served 26,391 county residents. 2,023 of the people that we served are Annapolitans. The grant that we have submitted is for our housing program, and in fiscal year 23, we served 326 Annapolitans through our Housing Assistance and Services program. As Dana Jones said, we are in a housing crisis, and right now our housing program is focused on eviction prevention. And it is so critical. What we're trying to do is keep people in their homes with their current leases so they can just kind of move forward and not have to worry about eviction, where they're going to live if they get eviction, how they're going to afford increased rents, and how they're going to even be able to find housing with bad credit and a black mark against them because they've been evicted. And one of my housing counselors told me that a lot of people with those black marks, they have to put up 3 months rent to be able to get into a unit. So 2 months security and first month's rent. But let's say they do get evicted. It is a crisis. As of February 12th, there were 54 people on the wait list just to get into shelter. And I've heard from DSS that 9% of those are seniors and 9% of those people on the wait list are members of families. The shelters are also reporting they're starting to see an uptick in seniors. There have been a lot of seniors in our community who have been able to afford market rents, and now rents have just gone up, up, and up, and all of a sudden they can't afford the apartments or condos or whatever they've been living in for a long time. And they find themselves on the street, on a fixed income, with nowhere to go. And if we want to look at even getting beyond sheltering, HACA has 1,151 households on their public housing wait list and 860 on the wait list for housing vouchers. And that's just in the city of Annapolis. So I'm just trying to build the case that this eviction prevention program is very, very important. And another thing too with evictions, I've heard through our continuum of care meetings that the largest sector of people being evicted are women of color with children. So it isn't just an adult being facing the streets, there are children involved. Another thing, so what we're asking for is money to help can go towards the pay of one of our housing counselors. And if we get this money, that helps us take that money that we already have probably, and we can reallocate it to direct services. But another thing too, we have many programs. We've got energy assistance. We have Early Head Start, which also serves the children in the city of Annapolis, health and wellness, our new diversion and reentry services, and youth development services. So when people come into community action and they're looking for housing assistance services, we're also able to direct them to our other services if they're eligible. If they are unemployed or underemployed, our DARS program can help them with training and to get new jobs. We also can help people if they don't have transportation to get to work. We work with Vehicles for Change, so we can help them get the transportation they need to get to a job, to get back on their feet again, so they'll be able to afford their rent going forward. If we have families coming in with newborns all the way to the age of 3, we can direct them to our Early Head Start, which is a full-time program now. It isn't a part-time program where parents have to be. It's a no-cost program where children have safe, there's a age-appropriate curriculum and quality daycare. So we hope you will consider us again for this year. I've talked to my housing counselors just about anything that's going on, and I've been working really hard to raise money for housing, and sometimes a little comes in and I got a $50 check and they were excited. So every penny that comes in for housing is appreciated and goes to where it needs to go to make sure that the people facing homelessness in our community are able to stay in a safe home. And if they can't stay in their home, we can help them with their first month's rent or a security deposit and help them find something that they can afford. Thank you very much. And I'm willing to take questions.
Thank you.
I have a question right off, if that's all right. Hey, Julie.
Hi, Karen.
Hey, so I don't know how much you asked for, but how many households do you expect impact with your grant?
With this particular grant, historically, we've always said that we would serve 300 Annapolis individuals.
Wow.
And we served 326 last year.
That's amazing. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yeah, how do you either take referrals or find people that need eviction prevention services?
We are part of a very robust network in Anne Arundel County and the city of Annapolis. For instance, I sit on the continuum of care, as does our CEO. We're very involved with ACDS. They are a partner of ours. We have a very robust network of faith-based organizations that we work with. And this is something that I'd like to point out too. If someone comes into us for assistance and let's say they need $2,000, we can put up $500, excuse me. We'll put up $500. Then we work with the faith-based community and they contribute as well. So every dollar that we put out for direct services is matched by other organizations within the county and the city at a rate of probably 2 to 3. So people hear about us. We've been in the community since 1965. If you call DSS, they're going to send you our way. If you go to a lot of the churches, they're going to also send you our way. And we have a partnership with DSS, so they're also sending people our way. And
I
we
know
do
it's
get
been a-
referrals from elected officials too.
Yeah. Well, I know we've been working with you for a long time, so I thank you very much for coming tonight and presenting your project to us. Any other questions, guys? Okay.
Thank you very much. And it's nice to see a lot of familiar faces. I'll see you tomorrow, Teresa.
Okay. Oh, I see.
I won't be there.
Oops. Oh, I see. There's Jesse. Okay.
Thanks for having me. I'm a bit under the weather tonight, but I'm happy to be here. First of all, I'd like to thank you for always supporting the OIC. As you know, we are an adult education and job readiness nonprofit. We were founded in 1978, and we've been serving the Anne Arundel community for over 46 years. We believe in empowering our community by empowering people to help themselves. So we give them a hand up, not a handout. Through your support and the county and the city support, I would like to say that we are no longer the smallest OIC throughout the United States. We've moved up, and that was one of my goals when I moved here from a larger OIC. I wanted to grow this OIC, and so far we are growing. One of the big reasons for that is in 2019, when the pandemic hit, I knew that we had to go virtual even before the pandemic happened, because I know that is the future. And instead of, we normally get funded to help 50 families a year. Since then, we average 120, we help 120 families a year. And that's a total of like 600 families that we've helped in the past 5 years virtually. And that's because we eliminated the number one issue with all nonprofits, which is transportation. So now our students, all they need is for us to give them a Chromebook. If they don't have a Chromebook or if they have a computer, they can log on to all of our classes. We are also the only OIC in the United States that's 100% virtual. All of our classes are virtual, and we're also the only one that has the same English classes and Spanish classes. So we duplicated the English classes with the Spanish classes. And the big reason for that is, as you know, Maryland was ranked 17th overall in all the states with the most Hispanic populations in 2022. And Anne Arundel County is the 4th largest county with the most Hispanics in Maryland. So we had to address that issue as well. So that's why we started the Spanish classes. So we have the career, the GED classes in English and Spanish. We have the ESL classes, reentry services, and the job readiness classes. And yeah, like I said, I'm a bit under the weather, but I will take your questions, and thank you for always supporting the OIC.
Anyone have any questions?
I do. I'm new to the commission, so I don't know what OIC stands for. And then I have the same questions as last time, is how many people do you think will benefit from the grant you are requesting?
I just turned in my report to Teresa, and like I said, we're funded annually to help 50 participants. I believe we are currently at over 70. Currently is what I turned in. So we're looking at probably another 120 families by the end of this year, fiscal year. And OIC stands for Opportunities Industrialization Centers. There were 130 OICs throughout the United States. Now there's only 25 left. The pandemic wiped out like about 10 of them. Luckily, we're still here. And like I said, we're no longer the smallest OIC. We're growing. So very proud of that.
Great. Good stuff. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to say that in 1978, I enrolled in OIC. I was very, very young, just coming out of high school, and they actually prepared me for job readiness. I pursued a career, And then I moved on, but I am one of those that benefited from OIC. And I just thought I'd throw that in there.
Thank you. I am
you.
too. When I was a kid, my mom used to take me to the OIC in Wilson to get food, and they would help her try to find jobs. So I'm also
Yeah,
I benefited from the OIC as
great
well.
program. Great program.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Jesse, for coming back.
Thank you.
Any
Hope you
other
feel better.
questions?
Hope you feel better soon, Jesse.
Yeah, feel better.
Thank you.
Okay, let's move on to the Center of Help. There's Gabriel. Okay. Hi there. Welcome.
Yes.
We've lost your video. At least I
Hello,
have.
everybody. Well, for the opportunity. Finally, voices, Teresa Wellman. Can you see me?
Now we can. Yes.
Oh, can you see? Okay, I apologize. No, I said I am grateful that I finally can put some faces in the people I had the opportunity to talk before, but I've never seen. So I'm grateful for that and for this opportunity. And I would like to say, well, you know, my name is Gabriel Rodriguez, and I am the Executive Director of the Center of Help, 501c3 dedicated to empowerment, education, and integration of immigrants within Anne Arundel County. For a quarter century, our organization has stood as a beacon of support for those seeking to navigate the complexities of a new life in community. Our mission is summarized in fostering self-sufficiency and success through our comprehensive suite of services, which are divided in three categories: mental health services. To put in context the scope of our hard work, in calendar year 2023, with limited resources, we impacted 5,319 lives, provided 166 in-person mental health therapies in Spanish, enrolled 774 students in our educational programs, provided 119 legal consultations, managed 2,781 cases through our case navigation program, and more. So all of this was at knuckle to moderate income, and I believe this is a testament that what we can achieve through community engagement. This will not have been possible without the collaboration of a committed team of around 94 volunteers. And of course, the generous support of the City of Annapolis, Anne Arundel County, Department of Health, and around the Women Giving Together, and many other donors who believe in our mission. Today, I am here to discuss our proposal for the Community Development Block Grant, specifically targeting an enhancement of our case navigation program through the introduction of a mobile component. This initiative is not just an expansion, it's a critical step towards breaking down barriers of transportation and internet access that many of our community members face. With the requested $30,000 in CDBG funds, we are aiming to extend our outreach further, allowing us to connect with people, immigrants in Anne Arundel County, and assist up to 1,200 individuals directly focusing on very low to moderate income immigrants who are currently underserved. Our readiness to proceed with this project is rooted in a solid tradition of experience. We have a committed team and a deep understanding of the needs of our community. Our strategic approach to outreach and service delivery ensures that we are not just reaching, but we are actually truly serving those in need. The total project cost is about $130,000. Beyond the CBDG funds, we are securing additional funding through the fiscal year 25 County Executive Community Support Grant. And we are in discussions right now to do a partnership with community schools, which will extend our reach into local schools. This multi-source funding approach underscores our commitment to ensure sustainability in the center of help and in our programs. I am here eager and prepared to answer any questions you may have about our project or about the Center of Help and the impact we are committed to making in the lives of Anne Arundel County's immigrant population. I believe that together with your support, we can further our mission and enhance the that every member in our community has the opportunity to thrive. I want to say a big thank you for your consideration and our application, and for your ongoing support. We have been partnered with the City of Annapolis for a long time, and we are very grateful about that, and we look forward to continue our partnership, and I'm looking forward for any questions you may have.
Thank you. Questions?
I don't really have a question. I just want to say, nice to finally see you, Mr. Rodriguez. We've talked on the phone and we've emailed back and forth, but this is the first time we've ever met, so it's nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to see you.
Questions? No? Okay. Well, thank you very much.
I want to bring to your attention that there is an overlap between the programs at the Center of Help. I will say the Center of Help is not just a provider of services, but a holistic well-being hub for immigrants. And due to this overlap between services, I want you to be aware that these fundings are going directly to the case navigation program, but they will directly impact all our services, because through case navigation, we identify the needs of the community and we can connect them with other resources we have. So these fundings will be used to finance directly the case navigation program, but will have an impact through all our programs. That is why I brought to your attention some of the numbers we have through all our programs. I did not put that in the proposal because it's not directly relevant for the proposal, but I wanted to make you aware of that at this time.
Thank you.
These numbers are great. That's a good job.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Okay. We are speeding through this. Next up is Blessed in Tech Ministries.
Ryan to promote. Mr. Brody, if you can accept the promotion by clicking on it, there you go.
Blessed in Tech is Dolores Bullock.
Oh, sorry about that. All right. I'll take care of her. There we go. There we go. Sorry about that.
There we go. Yay.
Hello.
Okay, there they are.
There they are.
Great evening, everyone. We're Willie and Dolores Bullock, President and CEO of Blessed Tech Ministries, a place of empowerment, meeting our community right where we are, providing resources that change lives for the better. We do everything from case management to training, advocacy, homeless referral, housing assistance, you name it, we do it. Sorry, food insecurity. Well, we also manage the Stanton of Annapolis. We also employ those with lived experience in our staff. Our program is to feed the streets. And basically, we've encompassed a lot of the things that we're doing in the Feed the Streets, evolving into a newer program, including not just those that are experiencing homelessness, but those that are experiencing unemployment, those that are experiencing food insecurity, everything compassed with the Feeding the Streets. We are that's our mission and goal. And the thing that we're planning to utilize the CBDG, and thank you for supporting us in the past and continue to support us, is for operations, supplies, find assistance, transportation, and also facilitator and case management. With the funds that we would receive. We are planning to reach our goal of 250 and more. Once again, assisting anyone that walks in the door with mentorship and other programs. We also, our readiness to proceed, we do a lot with little. We do much with little. And so we continue to operate irregardless of funding, because we have a desire to make sure that everyone receives quality care, wraparound services. Your funding allows us to continue to evolve our programs to meet the needs of our neighbors here in Annapolis. Any additional funding we receive, we have a lot of partners that we have, such as the Lighthouse, ACDS, anyone, even OIC. We worked with everyone, and we continue to partner because nonprofits work better together than apart. So that's one of our mottos, and we continue to, continue with that. We've been in the business for over 30 years, and we just continue to evolve. We have several mentor programs that we're working with the Department of Juvenile Services. Meta Beauties is our youth, young girls, and Boys to Men is our boys program. We're also working with the police department and other agencies. I'm trying to think, is there anything else that I need to bring to the forefront? Oh, we have received the Community Health Ambassador mini grant, where we will be providing training for NORCAN, CPR, first aid, and gun violence awareness to the city of Annapolis. So we're excited about what we're about to do in this next cycle and how we can help neighbors. Was there anything?
I think she said everything. But if you haven't heard of Blessed Tech, we kind of all everywhere, and it's not because of popularity or we want to be. It's just because we're people lover. We just love people, whether they county. We just in love with people, and we love to help people. That's what we were put on this earth for, is
or not ourselves, but other people.
Yeah.
And I thank God for my wife because she has that same, a desire and affection that and passion that I have. She has for people. So we work,
Yeah. We work well for you,
yeah.
City of Annapolis. Thank you so much for your time. You have any questions?
Questions?
Not a question, just a comment, and I will just, thank you both for all that you're doing for the community. I will say that just in the short time that I've come to know about the work of Blessed and Tech Ministries, I think the thing that really stands out to me is, you really came in and mentioned the fact of how collaborative you all are, and I think it's really been demonstrated from what I've seen, and that collaboration has really allowed, I think, you all to come in as an emerging organization amongst a lot of other organizations, and really find those crevices that exist that very much need to be filled, that are acknowledged as being needed to be filled, and I think have just really, in that spirit of service, gone and been willing to adapt in a way that other organizations might not be able to. So I just would offer that I think that's a real strength of yours that you've brought to the community, and I think it's really fantastic. So thank you all for what you're doing.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
so Elijah.
Okay. Next up.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next
You're
up
welcome.
is Annapolis and Anne Arundel County Scholarship Trust.
Good afternoon. Can everyone hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for giving us an opportunity to come and talk about the Annapolis Trust. We will celebrate our first anniversary. We've been in Annapolis Gardens for 1 year, and we just celebrated our anniversary yesterday. I got to tell you, we're extremely excited about the possibilities of working with the young people in Annapolis Gardens. For those of you who are not familiar with us, our original intent was to provide college scholarships for first-generation students, first in their families to go to college, and we've been doing that for 24 years. As a result of that, we felt very strongly that we needed to work with the young people at a younger age, other than just coming out of juniors in high schools and seniors in high school. Now we're working with young people as young as 6 years old and up to 19 years old to prepare them for college, and not only college, but also we're preparing them for vocational schools. We strongly believe that college is not for everyone, but education is. So, but the funding that we're seeking today is for our college summer initiative. Our camp is centered around a college initiative where we take our young people to various universities around the state, introducing them to the idea of college as well as vocational. And we've had tremendous success with the program. The funding will allow us to hire 2 college students, and based on, we want our kids to see who they can be. And when they engage with these college students, to understand that, yes, I can go to college. And I emphasize, yes, I can go to college, because a number of our tasks is changing mindsets. A number of the young people in the families in Annapolis Gardens don't see the possibility of themselves going to college or vocational school. So we're pushing the envelope to inspire them to do that. And we do that after school. We have an after-school initiative that starts at 2:30 and ends at 7. But I will tell you, if we could keep the doors open to midnight, we would have kids in that facility. That's how impactful the program has been. At the same time, guys, these young people haven't had a viable program in their community since COVID. And they come in very excited and looking to do something different and new and exciting for the year. And I want to end with this. I know I talked about our college initiative, but we're also a global initiative. Most of you may have seen the article in the Capitol where we will be sending a young person from Annapolis Gardens to Gordonson International School. The school is in Edinburgh, Scotland. And we're so excited for this young person that actually has had an impact on the community that we just didn't see. So many of the families are excited for this young person to be going to Scotland. and we're looking forward to sending more after this summer. Secondly, for our college students, they go to Cambodia and study and work with at-risk and poor kids in Cambodia. We'll be doing that again this year. And so we're excited to be in the game, as if you will, to be offering structured programs to these young people who need it most. The young people there, if you're very familiar with Annapolis Gardens, they've had their share of gun violence, youth violence, a number of very tragic incidents there. And so we're there to give these young people an opportunity to be 6-year-olds, to be 7-year-olds, 8-year-olds, and 9-year-olds. And I say that because so many of our young people have grown up so fast. And some people that we have counseling sessions with, if you were to close your eyes, you wouldn't know you weren't talking to a 17-year-old, and they're 8 and 9-year-olds. And so we're trying to give them an opportunity to live their lives as young people and to see their dreams of going to college and universities, as well as looking at a vocation as something important to them. Thank you so much for your opportunity for me to come talk to you this evening. And please come visit us. We're open for you guys to come see what your funding is doing for our young people. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good to see you.
Questions? Questions?
I don't have any question, but that student that's going to Edinburgh, that is just awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's really cool.
We've been doing it now for 20 years.
That's
And
great.
they come back different. They really do. They come back with a whole different mindset. And I'll tell you a little story. When they come back, they ask me 3 basic questions and it never fails. Because they're fellowshipping with kids from all over the world, they think a lot of the issues or challenges that they have here right in Annapolis was invented right here. So when they hear kids from Russia say, yes, they skip school in Russia, or I'm raised by a single parent, it becomes something different for them to resonate that then the world is much larger than Annapolis and Anne Arundel County. And many of our young people have gone on to own their own companies. We have a young person who's actually on the city council up in New Jersey. And it goes on and on and on. So we know the impact of exposing our kids to new and exciting adventures around the world, and we want to do more of it.
That's great.
Great. That's terrific.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Okay, now Restoration Community Development Corporation. Cheryl.
Reverend Menendez, you're muted. Can you hear us? Can anyone hear me?
Yes,
We can hear you.
Good to hear
Okay.
you.
Reverend Menendez, are you there?
She's there, but and a hand.
We can't see you or hear you. We see your hand.
It looks like the ceiling in the room.
Yeah, it's very odd.
Yeah.
The screen is there.
It looks like her phone might be on her computer.
Aha, I see her.
But we still can't hear you.
Looks like she's trying to figure something out.
Okay.
You can see my head moving on her screen.
Yeah, yeah.
She can see us. Pastor Cheryl, can you hear us?
Well,
Should we
maybe,
put her on hold and go to
yeah,
Ann?
and
Let me call her.
okay.
Like she's on mute now.
Now she's on mute, right?
I muted her when you asked me to put her on hold, so sorry about
Oh,
that.
okay.
She's gonna have
All
to
right.
unmute herself.
I'm just gonna see if I can call her. Okay, here we go.
For a little I had a schedule, but now she's gone completely. Oh no, there she is. She moved.
She said to go ahead and do the lighthouse, and then we'll get back to her.
Okay, all right. Let's do the lighthouse. Ann?
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi.
Okay, let's see. I don't have my camera's not. Oh, here we go. I'm doing this on my cell phone. I apologize. I'm small.
We see normal size here, so it's fine.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, thank you for having me to present tonight, and thank you as well for the past support to the Lighthouse. Since 1989, the Lighthouse has provided emergency shelter, transitional housing, homeless prevention, and related support services to people who are homeless and at risk of homelessness in Anne Arundel County. We are steadfast in our mission of rebuilding lives with compassion and by providing shelter and services to prevent homelessness and empower people as they transition toward employment, housing, and self-sufficiency. Our vision is to be a national model for how community cares for its homeless and people at risk of becoming homeless. We strive to provide a place of belonging, welcoming people of all faiths, races, and backgrounds, with life-changing programs and a broad continuum of support to people who are experiencing homelessness or are at risk of experiencing homelessness. And we do that work with compassion, care, and respect. The grant funds that we are asking for would be used to provide case management services for people experiencing homelessness and those at risk of homelessness in order to help them move out of crisis and towards self-sufficiency and independence. Case management is the backbone of our support services, and case managers tailor services for every client who comes through our doors so that clients can stabilize their health, maximize income, and secure safe and stable housing. The trust and comfort provided by our case management staff to our clients is essential to supporting their success while they're at the Lighthouse and beyond. These essential staff members first ensure that a client's basic needs for food, clothing, and shelter are met, and then they help pave the path to self-sufficiency by providing intensive case management services They work with the client to make an individual success plan and connect clients to the vast array of support services offered at the Lighthouse. And the primary function of the case managers are client outreach and engagement, assessment of the underlying causes of homelessness, referrals to needed services and support services, ongoing monitoring and evaluation of progress and needs, and advocacy to help resolve access barriers. Our 5 on-staff client advocates during this time period would be expected to serve a total of 400 residential and community clients. These services provide a point of entry to a vast array of support services and a spectrum of workforce development programs that are critical to achieving independence and self-sufficiency for people impacted by homelessness and poverty. The case management staff connects clients to support services available in-house at the 10 Hudson Street facility, as well as to mainstream benefits and services through the local coordinated assessment process. And the Lighthouse collaborates with over 50 public and private organizations to provide innovative wraparound services to our clients as well. This is for the project is case management for people impacted by homelessness and poverty. So, do you have any questions for me?
You're a longtime recipient, so
yeah.
Been friends of the Lighthouse for a long time, so
yeah.
Yeah.
Is
Any
everything
questions?
everything back together since the fire?
You know, we're almost there. There's the damage was some of the significant damage was on the second floor in the women's area, and they're working on that floor right now, and they fortunately were able to get most of the women housed. But right now we're still working on those repairs, but it's happening because I keep hearing the pounding above me. So they're getting it done. So, and nobody was hurt, so that's the best thing. Just we had a lot of water damage. Yeah. But thank you for asking. We're getting there. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Hey. Now. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. Are we ready to go back to Pastor Menendez?
She is still a panelist and has control over her audio and visual. There's not much I can do from my end.
Pastor Cheryl, can you hear us? Try her on the phone.
I'm sorry, did you ask me something?
Yeah, we can see Elijah's hand waving there.
I'm like trying to maybe try and get her to see the screen.
Oh, Cheryl. Okay.
Yeah.
She could just speak into her phone or just speak, we don't need to see her.
Yeah, and again, it seems like her phone is sitting on the keyboard of a laptop.
Or something.
Or something.
Huh.
Oh, she's out in public somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, thank you all for
we still can't hear you.
Wow, what is going on?
We can hear you, but you have to talk more loudly.
Yeah, now we can. There you go. Whoops.
But now you're gone.
They were both on a cell phone and the laptop. Where'd you go?
They were only connected through the cell phone. There's no
Okay.
one waiting to be connected through another device. Teresa, if you want, she can talk into your phone and you can have your phone on speaker and that would get through.
Okay. All right. I've somehow
And I'll mute her here if it starts doing a feedback loop.
okay. Reverend Cheryl? Let me call her back.
Hello.
Okay, we're gonna let you just go ahead and do your presentation by talking to me on the phone.
Okay, great.
Can you guys hear her okay?
Yep.
Hear me? I'll talk louder.
Thank you.
Yeah, they can hear you.
Okay. Thank you all. Thank you all for the service that you provided for us over the last, I don't know how many years, because we've been in Annapolis for probably about 29, 30 years now. But the project that we are trying to receive funding for this year is called Building Opportunities Program. It is actually taken as a result of the achievement gap. And so now it has been changed to opportunities gap. And what we would like to do with this, we're not asking for any funds for any salaries or anything. It's just so that we can work with the students that we have in Robinwood and around the community in dealing with cultural arts education, because we have our H2O Adolescent Clubhouse, which we have in Robinwood, which is absolutely beautiful. We have we have rebuilt it and would love for you all to come out, because one of the pieces that we're seeing that is taking place, that there are disparities that impact students, academic success, their low grades, low attendance, homeless youth. So social media has a very big impact, but also the socialness of health that is taking place, the low grades and of course the low attendance. But one of the other pieces is the food access. I sit on the actual council for our Anne Arundel County Stuart Pickman, yeah. And so I have a two-year assignment there, and what we're seeing is that one of the things that impact our students actually is food. I'd like to share that for a minute, but also we have seen a tremendous impact since COVID took place. The trauma, we are certified as trauma instructors. We have ACES training. We're certified for the state of Maryland, and also for a program that's called Strengthening Families. And our Building Opportunity Program will be housed in the Robinwood Center that's there. And again, I'd love for you all to see it because of what's been done. And also our music studio that we have is the only music studio that is known in public housing for what we're finding out is probably the state. We do know it could possibly be throughout the state of Maryland that we have the only music studio. I'm trying to do this real fast. The ACES training for the Adverse Child Experience has been phenomenal, because we're finding out, if you look across the board, across the country, we're finding out that there is an increase in mental health, suicidology. We're dealing with also a place, perhaps safe places for children after school. I don't know if you all are aware, but the age 12 to 17 in Annapolis, 21401, and also in the Brookville Park area have the highest amount of teens with mental health and co-occurring disorders of substance use, as was identified by the state of Maryland. There has been an increase in the need for mentoring programs, since there is a big gap that takes place. So this program will also provide the opportunity for education. We have a actual library that is there, and we will also have participants who we know who have a lack of income that is coming in. And sometimes what we're seeing for our kids, that they do not have enough after school programs. So we have transportation for them to pick them up as well. Also, we see a disparity that is taking place in the academic success, as I said. And four, and I'm going to probably, it's so much, but I'm going to end with this. I don't know if you all are aware, but we actually have a food pantry, baby pantry in the Robinwood community, which is absolutely beautiful. The households that we serve are not just for Robinwood, but we're there for Harbor House, Madison Street, and of course, as I said, Robinwood. Just from January to October, well, from October to January, we have served 1,134 individuals in those communities. We actually take now to help, and we recruit that way as well. We actually take a U-Haul, and every other Thursday, and we go out to all of those communities and serve them until late at night. However, in our own Robinwood, there is an actual music studio that is there that we have for the children, and a food pantry for them, because we are finding out that that need for food is affecting children's effect on how they're doing at school, actually. And so we are trying to block any one of those things that are causing them to have anything that would stop them. And even as I said, like, we're providing transportation for them, nutritious food and vegetables, access to recreation, and to travel. So what we did for the last couple of years is that we've taken the students, actually, we've chartered an actual coach, motor coach, and we've taken them to like different educational places, and also outside of the state, lived in hotels, so that we can teach them and show them that there is another part of life other than just their communities. That's all I'm going to say for right now. You have any questions? Hello?
It's not.
I guess there
We're-
aren't any questions.
No questions?
No questions.
Okay.
Well, you're very famous, and what you do.
And your
is
application
very-
covered it.
Yep. And what you do is pretty, well known, so.
Well,
No.
thank you. As a matter of fact, I was on with the OEM this morning. They called me because even in Annapolis, for as you're housing for persons who are homeless.
Mhm.
So they came down to my location, even in Brooklyn, because we have 4 food pantries. We have 4 baby pantries from Laurel through Annapolis, through all the areas. And I don't know if she's there, but we are so grateful to have the Housing Authority to allow us to be in the building.
Mhm.
And I would love if you all could come and see. You would not believe that this place is in Robinwood, or actually in Annapolis. It is absolutely, positively beautiful. And we just had our re-grand opening just a few weeks ago. Well, it's been about a few weeks ago. And I would love for you all to come and see it, see the baby pantry, the music studio, what's there, and how this could affect our children in such a phenomenal way that it excites me. That's all I wanted to say.
Well, we'll see if we can arrange something.
Would
I
you
know
please?
Denise and I would like to come. I'd like to come before I retire so I can.
Tari, please come. You won't believe it when you see it.
Okay, well, we'll.
Is it the same? Is it the same building where the stair program used to be?
It's the same building, but we rebuilt the entire place. It is
Oh, wow.
unbelievable. Okay,
So I used to tutor there.
it's phenomenal. Okay.
So it's not the recreation center then? at
Oh,
Rock-
it isn't. Oh, okay. It's another building, Pat?
It's the recreation center, but I don't think you all. We're in the back. We have been there. Actually, I don't know if you're aware. We've been there for 10 years now. But it's in the back.
Oh,
It's beyond the restroom, and we really are trying to work to see if we can. We've been asked would we use the entire building because of some services and things that we do. And we're really trying to work on that as well until there's some other changes that are done. That's the piece that really bothers me, and I don't want to start crying, is that our children really don't have places that they consider, even the parents consider safe, or, you know, it's clean, it's beautiful, it's beautifully decorated. They have every single thing you can think of in our location. Every single thing you can think of. And it's from arts, craft, because we were with the actual, the lieutenant governor at one of the colleges a few weeks ago. And one of the things that they said is that our children, especially children of color, are not doing well with STEM. And so what we're doing is, because they have added in, it's now STEAM to add the arts in. And so what we're trying to provide that for them as well.
Super.
Great.
Well, I do want to come over there, and I will try to set something up. I know Denise would like to go, and see if anybody else, you know, if it's during the day that's available.
I would love to.
Yeah, let me know if you're going too. I could also probably help set it up.
Oh, good. Okay, I'll let you know.
Please let me know when. The children are there Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and we also have ASAP. That's one of our partners, and also OIC. You have to come, because you have to see all the art that they gave to us to put up on our walls. It is beautiful. So y'all just let me know, because we have keys. We're very we have access to the keys at any time.
Okay.
So please let us know. We'll come in the day, whatever you want.
Okay.
And I may even have some lunch for you.
Oh, you don't need to do that. That's fine. All right, dear. You take care.
You too.
All righty. Bye.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Okay.
I must
That is it.
agree, kids need somewhere to go, somewhere
Yes,
safe.
absolutely.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Sometimes they tell the stories of what they do in the community, and I can actually reflect on, like, the gentleman with OIC, and even Miss Menendez, with the program she had. We used to have Parks and Recs in every community, and so we could go to this one over here, and it was like, it was just a safe place to go, but nowhere's safe anymore for our children. They can't even go to school.
Yeah, that's for sure.
It's kind of
So,
moving.
just so you know, the next step will be, I'll put together my recommendations.
I was going to ask you.
And then share them with you, and then we'll set up a meeting to discuss. I'm not sure it will be at our regular meeting.
Okay.
I'll let you know.
All righty.
But
It's good that the one you can categorize as capital instead of services, since we have so little service money.
I did categorize it as capital.
Yeah, it's good.
That's why
It's
I
good
got
because
confused when they started, because actually when I first looked at it, I thought it was public services, and then when I read it, it was more like a capital project.
right.
But we can restrict it. I mean, if we decide to fund it, we can restrict it to just certain things, so that won't be,
right.
That won't be an issue.
And you may have said this out already. Is there somewhere where I can see what you funded last year? from
Yeah,
this
it's all,
group?
everything's on the website.
Okay.
Everything's on the Office of Community Development website. It's last year's stuff. The action plan for last year is there. It's all there.
Okay. Thank you.
And Teresa, when have you set a specific date for your retirement?
Yep. May 31st.
Oh, good for you. You know she's headed into retirement because she's like long hair, don't care vibes right now.
Have you noticed that?
Of course I did. Look at you. You look great.
Short timer.
I haven't started.
Yeah, and guess what? When you retire, you can be on boards and commissions.
Yeah, right. Right.
I know, because I'm a city resident.
Congratulations.
So who knows? I might show up on this. If
You can't live without us, huh?
No.
You won't be able to live without us.
I'm gonna have a hard time. I know I'm gonna have a really hard time because I love my job.
Aw.
and stuff, but it's, time for new faces and new ideas, so. I just had my 77th birthday, so I think.
Stop it.
Yeah, so
Lying.
anyway.
So did I.
What?
Happy birthday.
When was yours?
That's awesome.
25th. February
The 25th?
Yeah.
Oh, mine was the 15th.
Oh, wow. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you both.
Right.
I'm so glad I'm not the oldest one on this board because everybody
You're
thinks I'm the oldest one on the board. So good.
Ah!
Thank you.
Nope.
That might be Nancy because she's a few days older than I am.
Yeah,
Ooh,
10 days.
Nancy, she just threw you under the age bus there. She was like, doof, doof.
Right.
Hey, well, like I said, I'll keep in touch and I'll let you know what we're gonna.
Thanks, Teresa. And if it sounded like there was a lot of interest in taking restoration up on that offer. So if you could, and if it's at all possible, I would really appreciate the opportunity to go out there but just during daytime, like
Yeah,
if there's-
absolutely. It'd be daytime.
and like given that we're aiming for during daytime, if we could try and shoot for like a couple of weeks advance notice so that I
Oh,
can kind of,
absolutely. Yeah.
push stuff off the
Oh,
calendar
Murphy.
as needed in order to make sure I can go, I would appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
we have to see the studio before we tear it down.
Well,
Robinwood's gonna be totally, renovated.
Demolished. Yeah.
Are they gonna
Yeah.
Taken down and
demo the
rebuilt.
whole, are they gonna demo the whole thing? Or are they gonna just do parts of it?
No, the whole thing.
Are they? Okay.
We haven't got the actual design plans yet because we just picked Community Housing Partners as the partner to actually do the conversion. So that's kind of the next phase right now. Oh, and one thing I'm not sure everybody else has heard too about HACA is that they received approval on the Choice Neighborhood redevelopment plan after all the charrettes and everything and that was held. So that's going to keep moving forward also.
Cool.
Yeah, there was a big article about it in the paper.
They
Pardon?
approved the
There was
transformation.
an article about it in the paper.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah. One other thing too that came up in a HACA meeting is that Cure Violence program is going to start up at the Eastport Terrace. It's run actually by the County Department of Health.
Mhm.
And it's basically placing violence interrupters, if you will, in the property, but also
Wow.
the entire neighborhood. And it's the first site in Anne Arundel County that the Department of Health is doing this in.
That's great.
That's good. Yeah.
It's super.
All right. So we have one more item of business, and that's approving the minutes from the last meeting, January 25th meeting. Has anybody have any additions or corrections to the minutes?
No.
The one thing was, where is it? I'm looking, pilot that Carrie mentioned, and I don't know, I'm looking to see if it was.
That's right. There were a couple of emails about that.
Right. I don't know if it was changed or not. Learning. Yeah, it should be approving pilots instead of improving. On formulating a system for approving pilots as opposed to improving.
That's better.
Yeah,
That was a good catch.
Gary caught it.
I thought it was caught and fixed, but I'll go back and see.
Okay, it's under the things that we're going to take up with the letter I'm still going to write to Alderman Gay that we can all discuss.
Okay.
So it's formulate a system for approving pilots rather than improving pilots.
So maybe what I'll do is I'll go ahead and set up a separate meeting for doing the review, and then at our next official meeting, we'll start in on that.
On okay.
What we're, what the committee's gonna.
Right.
Okay.
And then, hey, just for awareness, the continuing resolution for the HUD budget was just passed. They gave
Well,
themselves a whole nother week.
Kick the can down the road.
I mean, come on. Like, Just
This is
every time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's-
well,
It's so sad. This whole, it's just so sad.
And then they're so proud of themselves that they did it. Like, excuse me?
Right.
yeah, right.
Decisions made, we're putting it off.
But we weren't gonna do that. We weren't gonna do it.
Right.
That said, for what it's worth, and it's relevant to what we're talking about, what I've read from the National Low Income Housing Coalition is that the agreement was kind of made to increase from, I think the House was recommending a 10% increase and the Senate was recommending a 13% increase. So that they had gotten to kind of top line numbers when they finally hopefully agree to something. Maybe we'll see a nominal increase in the amount of money that comes into, at least for the purposes of our conversation right here, the CDBG program.
The $306,000 doesn't go very,
No, it doesn't.
you know.
You know, but then to get, if it was a 10% to get another 30,000 would be nice.
Yeah. I mean, I remember when.
If it translates 1 for 1 to the various
Exactly,
grantees, and you
exactly.
don't know what
Right.
typically what happens is that it goes directly to Section 8.
Vouchers. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
To vouchers because they don't have enough money in the vouchers.
City
Doesn't
used to-
necessarily.
I said, I'm sorry, the city we used to get, when I first started, we got about 500,000.
Yeah.
So was there any way to increase the pot?
Nope.
Nope.
Nope, it's strictly HUD.
Well, I mean, other than a congressional appropriation.
You know that's not going to happen.
Yeah. One unfortunate thing, and I'm not sure anybody saw this, but both the Capital Magnets Fund and the Housing Trust Fund are going to be less next year because it's based on profits of Fannie and Freddie, and they didn't have as good of a year because the housing was down somewhat. So less loans meant less money going into those two programs also.
Right.
Pat, can you contextualize that at all? Do you know approximately percentages? How much?
Well, I know the Capital Magnets program is supposed to be, I think, 115 million next year, which I think this last year was at least 160, if not more. So it's fairly significant.
Wow.
Okay. So, okay, with the
On that
changes.
happy note.
Yeah.
Well, with the changes to the minutes, can I hear a motion to approve the minutes from January 25th?
So moved?
Second.
Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the minutes from January 25th are approved. And we will stand adjourned until the next meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
job,
Good to
everybody.
see you all.
Good luck tomorrow,
Happy
Teresa.
birthday, Teresa. Happy birthday, Nancy.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Dad.
35.
Good luck tomorrow, Teresa.